Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night. Where tonight, for round 5 of season 31, a Sunday night lights. We're at Oulton Park, the free circuit this week, playing host to many drivers back after the lazy Snetterton week. I'm Alex McKellar, and joining me in the absence of the chaotic one is one of the clowns himself, Mr. Doug Robson. Doug, welcome aboard, welcome back. Big night of racing ahead, mate.
Yeah, pretty excited, Alex. I must say, this track's going to certainly provide some action. Cold tyres is going to make a lot of fun, so very excited.
Yeah, mate, should be a good night out, depending on your perspective and how we get going in the race action, so to speak. Interesting layout here, of course. The Foster's layout a bit shorter, got the tight hairpin at the bottom there at Foster's, which the layout is named after, and then of course all the interesting elements of the track otherwise at Oulton, the classic turn 1, the lodge at the end, of course, Druids, that fantastic double right-hander to play with as well. Big bumper grid of 19 cars out there tonight, starting with the speedy snail himself, car number 1, Mr. Sam Devantier, the cowboy, out on the hunt here this week once again. Now Nagai, car number 2 for Team NRS, out there getting the warm-up done, although it's not a typical warm-up. The tyres just the lazy around there on the opening lap. Used to see him warming the tyres a bit more than that. His compatriot, Hikaru Sasaki, plenty of pace. Another one of the Team NRS drivers out there ready to put on a show here tonight. I'm just trying to find a bit of a tighter angle there. Car number 4, Christian Perez, returning champion. Not out on the track yet. He's a late qualifier, usually gets out there pretty late. We'll check out what he's doing when the time comes. Brett McBurney for McFlabby Racing, car number 5. He is the leading ANZ driver out there tonight, ahead of another one in the squadron of Japanese drivers out there really pushing for their run at the title this year. Takumi Yamato from Japan and Team NRS. Dario Frattini, the lone Italian in the field here tonight for Team Oval Matine. He's out there having a crack, gets a big bit of the apex there at the Foster's hairpin. Fraser Smith joins us once again. Great to see him back from the UK&I club. Beautiful out there on track as always. Great to see him out there having a hunt. Hiroki Kokobu is there once again. I'm just trying to think because the Kokobu brothers are both there. But it's Hiroki this week. And he's out there as car number 9, representing the Japan club, of course. Car number 10 is Alexis Tapia Vico, who's starting to become a bit more regular here on a Sunday night. We used to see him a lot in the skips. Now we're seeing him in the Formula Fords as the Kokobu sets the fastest time first time round as the first lap start coming in. Car number 11, if I can find him, Ryan Chenoweth, the Wildlife Warrior for, I can't read that team. Sorry, mate, you'll have to tell me off stream what that new team name is, but it is the Goose Juice Racing. It used to be. Anyway, Ryan's out there as car number 11. Car number 12, Hiroyuki Shoda, another one of the Japanese drivers out there for Team NRS. He's got some pace as well. 13 tonight, Vasco Sorosky, the head clown himself, as car number 13. More often than not, lucky for some and lucky for Vasco, hopefully, here tonight. Car number 14, Mr. Luke Whitten, Team Milo. The Speedy Snails, Team Milo, Oval Matine, rivalry with the Clowns, on in action and in earnest tonight. Luke Whitten for Team Milo, of course. Car number 15, the other clown in the field, Mr. Mark Lay, just sort of hanging around. The other odd clown out there, perhaps, maybe. We'll see how he goes here tonight. Car number 16 in this big field, if I can just find him. Bit blind, there he is. Darren Chun, second week in a row that he's been in the top split here on a Sunday night. Great to see him back. Of course, we know him from Aussie Car traditionally. Kenji Kuroda. Kuroda-san for Team NRS probably rounds out what is an absolute squadron of Japanese drivers, as Sasaki sits as one of those drivers on the top of the timing sheets at the moment. Kokobu just behind him, all having done their laps. Naoya Nagai is the remaining driver, really within a hunt in that group of Japanese drivers out there with a chance to maybe grab pole, Doug.
Yeah, it's interesting. Certainly if the racing this afternoon's anything to go by, the Japanese had the stranglehold in the later part of the day. But there's been a lot of incidents too. So I think there's that pushing the little edge is going to be very costly if you make that mistake tonight with the large field.
Yeah, absolutely. The one driver that I missed, who has done his 2 laps, he's already out and done. Braden Martin for Locked On iRacing. We haven't seen him in the top split for a while. He just snuck in as car number 19. And speaking of sneaking in, onto the front row goes Naoya Nagai. Nagai-san. Nagai 2.0. Car number 2 starts second. We used to see him on first, but he's teaching the guys around him too well. And Sasaki it is this week that pips him for the front row. Now, I tell you who we're missing. Christian Perez. There he is. Former 3-time champion now. He corrected me the other day, Doug. He's out there setting his laps, and he's about to set his first one.
Yeah, no, he's. I'm just watching him now. He's certainly left it as late as, unless that's just trying to hide, what he's doing to a degree. But I think a few people have got his measure tonight. So I think if Christian can be 5 or 6, he'd probably be relatively okay with that.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know how much time he's been doing in the Fords, to be honest. He's a brilliant driver, brilliant racer. Of course, 3-time SNL champion, multiple-time official season winner in the skips. Now over to the Formula Ford. This is, in fact, from memory, his first race with us on a Sunday night this season. Took 4 rounds maybe to get his legs under him, I don't know. Yeah. But he's certainly one to watch, if nothing else, Doug.
That's right. And I mean, having Braden Martin back, that's great. I remember when I first started watching SNL, Braden was one of the regulars with the Locked On crew, so that's great to have him back as well.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Gone on the Locked On podcast days, but doesn't mean we can't relive some. And I wonder how surprised he is to be in 5,300 odd, 53 and a half, kind of soft here tonight as Perez sets his first lap. Good enough to be inside the top 10. I was watching him in the warm-up race. Oh, he grabs a fair bit of the exit curb at 1 there, although they seem to have relaxed the incident extremities there on the outside of turn 1, but they've dropped in a quiet, sneaky slowdown out there as well. There, Doug.
Yeah, well, I think that I think people before could just drift out there, and then they started using it. So, yeah, they've just said you can have this much, but not too much.
That's exactly the scenario. And it's interesting because before you just touch a little bit of a toe on the grass and you'd be picking up an incident point and, of course, invalidating your lap here in quali. But these days you can take a bit more, which really gives you a lot more exit speed, but you run the risk then of not only the incident point but the slowdown. As coming through Lodge on the second of his flying laps is Perez now looking to move up. He stayed within the track limits by the looks this time as he crosses the line for his second lap. Was he able to improve? The answer is yes. He's on the 3rd row there in 5th. Great drive there in quali from Perez. Let's go check out our grid. A bit of race through it because it's a pretty full one. Hikaru Sasaki for Japan with a 101.3. Drops it on the pole here tonight. Not the first time we've seen him on pole, and potentially not the last. Naoya Nagai's teammates, certainly we've seen him a lot on the front row in previous seasons, but usually with the number 1 next to him. Hiroki Kokubu for Team NRS starts out a 3rd on the 2nd row. Alongside him will be FPM Oval Matene's Dario Frattini. Christian Perez Rastro Racing Team starts out a 5th tonight. Vasco Soroski does a beautiful job in quali for Team Clowns to drop it on the 3rd row, right next to the former champion there. Starting out a 6th, Takumi Yamato for Team NRS. The Japanese driver starting out a 7th. Speedy Snails driver Sam Devantia starting out of 8th. Hiroyuki Shoda for Team NRS starts out a 9th tonight. Kenji Kuroda, another Team NRS driver, starting out a 10th. Braden Martin for Locked On Racing did a fantastic job dropping it in 11th to start tonight's action. Just ahead of Brett McBurney for McFlurry Racing in 12th. Starting out a 13th tonight, Ryan Chenoweth for ANZ there. Alongside him, similarly for ANZ and Team Milo, will be Luke Whitten. Fraser Smith, the UK and I, starts out a 15th ahead of Alexis Vico from Iberia in 16th. 17th, the other clown. 18th is Darren Toon. Oh, I'm just going to try and grab the cameras quickly. And starting in last position will be Yoshitoko, who I didn't even get to mention earlier. Anyway, we're off and racing, Doug, for the first of 20 laps here tonight. Everyone's seemingly getting through turn 1 okay, and we're off to the races, Doug.
Let's see how we go into down Cascades and into Foster's. Let's see if anyone stays off the triple strips, please.
Yeah, they're seeming to manage a little bit of 2x2 out the back as now they head into Foster's. Oh, a lot of people having a bit of a lunge there. They seemingly get through okay, and still everyone survives as they come up the hill towards the tower. And that very famous Druids corner over tower, the water tower now towards Druids, led away by Sasaki and the guy. Sasaki's got a great getaway there, Doug, and looking to set the running early.
Yeah, that's quite an impressive gap already. I mean, the guy's almost likely to be caught up by the car behind, so Sasaki really could just make his mark right here.
Yeah, certainly can. A couple of 2x2s. Oh, a bit of brakes locking up in the middle. That looked like shorter and off to the side. I think that's Kuroda dropping down the order as the drivers now start settling in for the long haul. Although, do they? Frattini looks up the inside of Kokobu early on. Side by side, Frattini's gone. And he's in. Oh, he's dropping down the order. I'm trying to find him. He's the only one who seems to have come unstuck out of that. Very disappointing for the Italian driver there, Doug.
Yeah, he's off. He was off at one, and then someone's just off here at Cascades and done a full across the track. Brett's off the side there as well. There's quite a bit of action at Foster's.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that was Witten off down the side there. He's gone, but Sasaki and the guy are absolutely off to the races, as we say. There's a lot of action. I'm just going to see back and see what happened to Luke Witten. Oh, look at this. Oh, there's action everywhere going through there. Oh, what a mess.
And the lucky... Sorry.
You go, mate.
The lucky car 13, Swarovski, just sails through the middle of the calamity.
Absolutely, mate. Speaking of sailing through, Christian Perez up a couple, Swarovski straight behind him, and Devantia up 3 as well from where they started. They're in 3rd, 4th and 5th respectively. Perez putting on a great show. Swarovski taking advantage of a fantastic qualifying alongside him. They've picked their way through the early action. Kokobu surviving that initial run-in with Frattini to continue on. There's a few guys in the pits at the moment. She's looking a bit busy there with we're losing another one. Mark Lay now side by side. He's getting shuffled back, and Swarovski's off in the background. That's not what the clown wanted. Let's see what happened down there. He's come down. Oh, and the rear's just gone on him in the braking zone to Foster's. That's not what he wanted. He will be dark as there, Doug.
He will be not as happy as you could imagine. The only happy person will be Mark Lay, the other clown trying to take a freebie.
Well, the other clown out there looking to take the reins as the head clown here by the looks of it. Swarovski, after qualifying magnificently, he was come unstuck, and that's very unfortunate. But not unfortunate is the running for the Japanese pair. The duo up front of Sasaki and Nagai. Sasaki really setting the pace, stretching the friendship on those newly expanded track limits as well. Nagai, though, all over him. Still, well, he's just kind of in draft range, Nagai, but not really. It depends on how he runs through Foster's there, and they're kind of a bit spread out there. Perez, they're all about a second, and then Devantia in turn. The front four about a second apart each, but they've just got a sniff of draft. Now, Fraser, the first sort of battle pack we've got with Kokobu, is recovering after that touch with Frattini through turn 1. The early move from the Italian costing him dearly, and then there's a pack behind with led by Shorter with Vico, Lay and Tune all looking to get amongst the action, Doug.
Yeah, no, it's impressive. Maybe Vasco was just caught out by lap 2 cold tyres. Maybe he just didn't quite have what he needed in that corner. But the Sasaki and Nagai have been certainly doing this run together as a group thing for a while. So maybe Nagai's just hanging back and giving him clean air to do his thing. Unless Perez challenges him, he may just let him sit there.
No, I reckon the guy's doing everything he can. Sasaki's got genuine pace, genuine race pace, and if a guy could be with him, I'm sure he would. The pair of them would work together to get away, no doubt. Devantia is similarly looking to get back on, but they've broken out, and they're still about that second gap, although it is Perez, if anything, closing a little bit on the guy, down to about 0.7, whereas in the background, we got a fair bit going on here. It is Kokobu getting shuffled a bit. He's already let Smith go through, and now he's got Chenoweth on his tail, Doug.
Yeah, no, exactly. So this is going to be quite big as they run down now here into Lodge. Side by side, holding. They're giving to each other some room. Yeah, so Ryan, I think, might be in a bit of a seat here to get on the right-hand side if he feels like it.
Smith and Kokobu working it out through Lodge, and then coming back again is Smith this time round around the outside. very doable there if you get it right. This time he sweeps back underneath though, gives Cockaboo the line, and those guys now, they're sweating bullets because there's about 4 or 5 or 6 of them now trying to have a crack at them if they get half a chance, Doug.
And you don't have to send Ryan much of an invite to the party to come, so he'll be ready to go.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Now Sasaki up front. Oh, there we go. I've just spotted in the background. It is indeed Perez all over the back of Nagai. Perez looking to make the best of his return to SNL action. New car, same action for Perez. Moving forward in the field, showing all sorts of racecraft as we've come to know and love. And in the background, Avantia just kind of hanging around there, about 1.5 behind. Meanwhile, this is where the action is. This is what we come to see at Oulton Park, side by side through Lodge, up over Deer Leap to round out the tail end of lap 7. We're going to do 21 circuits here tonight, folks. And side by side once again. Chenoweth looking to have the run now on the inside of Smith. Smith gets shuffled to the outside. Chenoweth gets the move done. This is what pack racing's like here on a Sunday night, Doug. This is what we've come to see.
That's right, and then there's Vico now in front of the mini group, if I'm not mistaken.
That's it, mate. And Cockaboo now, though, has got a bit of a mini gap because of the shuffling behind, has really given him a chance. And don't give him a chance to get away because he has got legit pace. Now, the question is, have the likes of Vico and Smith, Chenoweth and Shorter, with the clown lay there, the other clown with Tune on the back, have they got the pace to go with them, particularly those up front? Cockaboo, like I said, legit pace. It's whether or not they can get it sorted long enough to stay in the draft and use that effectively to get back in touch, Doug.
Yeah, well, I think Fraser and Ryan are always pretty happy to have a battle. I think Smith's just gone off there on the left of Lodge, so he's going to be a bit vulnerable here. But I think there's always going to be that strong battle between those two, and not just wait for seeing what happens in 5 laps' time.
Yeah, well, that's it. They all want to maximise their chances of getting forward and potentially getting away. Cockaboo, the only one looking to get away on the front of this pack at the moment. Vico somewhat going with him. Oh, and up the inside. Who was that? Was that Smith?
Coming back?
Yeah, Smith coming back on tune. What happened to Smith? He got overtaken by about 6 guys. He went off track. Hang on, let's go and have a look.
Yeah, he went off left.
Oh, yeah,
Lodge.
I beg your pardon. He did say that. Look at that. Yeah, he's just got the yips everywhere and got shuffled back dramatically. I expect him to potentially have something to say later in the race. Anyway, Sasaki's off and away. Nagai and Perez. Nagai holding off Perez. Perez potentially happy there to sit and wait to the later stages. He caught Nagai easy enough. The question is, does he think he has the pace to catch Sasaki, who's opened up nearly a 2-second gap at this stage? Bit of action. Now it is the other clown. The sad clown earlier today or yesterday. He's got the move done on Chenoweth, one of his regular sparring partners. It's 2x2 down through the Cascades. Little clip on the curbing there from Chenoweth. Mark Lay, and up the inside, Smith's come back. He's grabbed about 1,000. He's put the hand in the lolly jar and he's come out trumps. Look at that one, Doug.
Yeah, that's a really impressive move. I'm impressed by Mark's very smooth move, but then Fraser just said, hey, you're going a bit slower, I'm off. See ya.
Yeah, side by side, short up the hill with Tune. Oh, he's been tipped. He's gone. Who was that? Was that Tune? It was Tune. I want to go and see what happened there. Wow. I think he got turned. Let's see if I can grab the picture. Oh, it looks like he's done... I don't know if he's got hooked there, a bit of net code, but it was a very strange one. He's been flung off to the side of the track. And that's Tune's night over. A very unfortunate one there. It just looked like he might have just copped a bit of really awkward net code. Anyway, back up front. Sasaki's gone. Nagai and Perez. Now, what this little dance that Nagai and Perez are doing, Perez right up the tailpipe, I think it might almost have a chance of bringing Devantia back into it, although Devantia looks a fair way back at this stage. And Perez looking to just put pressure all over the Japanese driver. Although I think he might be a bit too experienced to be too worried about that. Cockaboo and Vico now, they've got away, and Vico's caught up to Cockaboo. Expect that to open up a bit soon. Now, here's where the battle still remains. Smith, who's been up and down like a yo-yo all night, Doug, back up on the front of this pack with a hungry clown behind him.
Yeah, no, it's really impressive. I think with Christian and Nagai, of course, in previous seasons you would have thought that Christian would outrace Craft Nagai at some point if he was coming back like this. But Nagai's shown a lot of improvement in his race car in the last couple of seasons. So I think Christian's got a fair bit of work to do here.
Yeah, relying more than just on outright pace is Nagai these days. Nagai 2.0 certainly willing to have a crack with the big guns. Cockaboo now, he's just got his battle with Vico under control at the moment. Vico in the draft of Cockaboo last lap set the fastest lap of the race with a 101 flat, 101.06. Fraser Smith now on the front of this battle pack of four. He's got the other clown, Mark Lay, Chenoweth, the Wildlife Warrior, and Witten now has come onto the back of this pack and looking to show the nose up the inside of Drewers that time round on Chenoweth. Decides better of it. Chenoweth takes a short exit line perhaps to defend into Lodge. But no, they're just going to go line astern. Meanwhile, Shorter, one of the other Japanese squadrons, the NRS drivers with Kuroda behind him, and Yamato somewhat absent this week after his early race incidents and a lap down, those drivers, which is unfortunate after the melee that was the opening little section of this race, Doug.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I noticed Swarovski's back running again. I think that the predictions were all true. Something's going to happen at Foster's, and of course it did. And of course, if something happens, you're unsighted when you come across the right-hand apex if it's happening in front of you. So you're always going to get caught if something's going on there.
Yeah, that's right. We've got, dare I say, some pockets of excitement around the place. This pack of four, Witten using every bit of track and more somewhat unnecessarily that time round. Meanwhile, Smith on the front of this pack here. Sasaki's gone. He's now over 2.5 seconds in front. Solo hot lapping almost. And you can just see that distance in real time there with Nagai and Perez locked nose to tail. Still Devantia off the back there. Then we've got this duo of Cockaboo and Vico. And then the big battle pack here, the four drivers where the action is sitting at the moment, with Smith still leading, Lay, Chenoweth and Witten. And now there's a bit of a threesome going on here with Shorter and Kuroda. Yamato, I think, is he a lap down? All of those, I'm not really sure. I can't tell. The telemetry is just playing up a bit. Anyway, those guys in a run of their own as we check back in with the battle pack of four there, led by Fraser, Doug.
Yeah, Yamato was a lap down in what you were just saying there, Alex. So he's 13th at this point in time. I think Mark Lay's probably pretty happy that Luke and Ryan are fighting behind. Luke's always a charger who's happy to send something, so it's probably helping out Mark, and that's giving Fraser a relatively easy run, but it doesn't look like he seems to be able to go any faster to get the pack in front.
No, that's it. Interestingly, Vico, the biggest mover in the field, at 10 places gained so far, sitting behind Cockaboo, looking to make it 11 if he can. Cockaboo, of course, down a couple from where he started on the second row, but not far behind. Vico as the leading mover in this field is one Mark Lay, who's up 9 positions. Smith in front of him only up 8. So Mark Lay doing a tremendous job here representing ANZ and Team Clowns, Doug.
Well, he's become the significant clown for the night, I think is how you'd call that, Alex. Mark's always tries to be very smooth and measured. He's never going to be the guy that sets the world on fire in terms of the move, but he will make sure he makes good moves and makes them stick.
Oh, I reckon he'd have a crack as well, mate. We'll see what happens later on in the race. But I tell you, he's in some good company there. Fraser Smith is no slouch. I don't know how much seat time he's had in these cars as he immediately moves right to sort of make his intentions of defending very clear. Lay, there we go. Talk about moves. He's thrown it up the inside of Lodge. We're on lap 15, so there's plenty to go. That was a calculated move. He waited until he'd given the non-verbal indication that he wasn't going to go, left himself some time after Smith went down, and now Chenoweth comes up the inside. Lay backs out. Discretion the better part of valor. But what's discretion cost him? It's cost him 2, maybe 3 positions as Witten looks to take advantage and to leave Lay once again to hang out to dry. He's gone for 1 and he's lost 2. What a terrible turnaround for the other clown in the field, Doug.
Oh, that's terrible. That was looking so good, and then he's just like, you're in the wrong spot, and everyone just waves as they go by.
Cutthroat business out there. You can see going for the attacking move. It left him vulnerable, and others were there ready to pounce and take full advantage. Spectacular part of racing when you see that risk versus reward as Witten now steps out alongside Chenoweth, looking to make the move. Fraser Smith then blocks his territory or marks it out. Chenoweth forced to go wide. Where's Lay to take advantage this time round? And Witten, who you may remember last time we were here in the skips, started last and finished second and all but had a run at the win. So we know he's got pace here. He just hasn't quite had the opportunity to use it, but does move one spot forward and is now up 6 positions. Checking back in with our leader, we've got Sasaki, who's now out by 3.5 seconds. Nagai, with about 5 laps to go, is still running the ragged race or running the legs off Perez, although Perez is potentially just sitting there quietly waiting for his opportunity. And we got Devantia running alone the race, and Cockaboo still with Vico, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, the old saying is, from Perez's point of view, you only had to lead on the last lap. It's the only one that matters. So maybe he's working that strategy.
Wow, well, he's just made a lie of us both, mate. He's just
I just thought that.
Yeah, he's just got on the move at Lodge with about 4 to go, now 5 to go. Nagai 2.0 coming back at him. No, shows the nose and pulls back in behind. And Perez now hitting the go button. Checking back in on our battle pack here. Oh, here's where the action is, Doug. They're side by side once again. Witten, Chenoweth fanning across. Witten half having a look almost. He kept Chenoweth narrow. Witten taking the full extent of the optional exit there. And Lay still looking for the opportunity to get back one or more of those positions. Tucked right in behind Chenoweth, Doug.
Yeah, Chenoweth seems to be amazing at taking such a narrow entry into one and surviving. Yeah, he still maintains exit speed even though he's very narrow in, even in these diving moves.
Yeah, that's it, mate. He really... it's interesting there because Luke really forced him onto a much narrower line than he needed to do. But, I've just noticed in the background we've got Shorter and Kuroda working together to try and catch back up to these guys. But meanwhile... Oh, Luke Wittens leaves just enough of a line. Chenoweth takes a narrower entry than he needed to, and that'll compromise his exit. Lay looking to take advantage. Lay moving up in the draft there. Moves to the inside now of Chenoweth. It'll be Lay attacking Chenoweth on the inside of one. Will it? No. Yes. Lay needs to open up the corner there. Give himself the run. He had no overlap, and he could have got the exit. But that's still for laps to come there, Doug.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure that we've got 1.5 seconds back to Shota and Kuroda. I think given we've got, 3 laps to go, I'm pretty sure that distance will be okay. So these 4 should probably do their thing. I think Fraser knows where he is and knows he can't get to the group in front, so he's just going to maintain that spot.
Yeah, that could be the way, mate. It could well be the way, although I think if they keep battling... they never know where they might find themselves. Meanwhile, Sasaki, loneliest of lonely races. I'm sure he won't mind, though. Out to a 4-second lead now with Perez and Nagai still biding their time, apparently or seemingly, for that last lap battle. Devantia still on his own. Cockaboo leading Vico. Again, I think Cockaboo's got the good pace there. Vico, though, very experienced driver on the sim here. And potentially a threat coming into that final stages now. We're on lap 19, 3 to go. This is the battle pack of interest at the moment. Smith leading the way from Witten. Chenoweth Witten takes the defensive line into Foster's this time round, and it costs him the exit speed. He's going to be no threat to Smith there, though. That's the problem for him, Doug.
Yeah, and he's invited Ryan right back onto his tail to come up here through Druids and then up into Lodge, of course.
Yeah, that's right. On the way through Druids this time round. It is an opportunity now, if depending on the run. Very tight line there from Chenoweth. Compromised a little bit on the exit. I don't know if he'll get the run from that. The draft will be his friend. He shows the nose. Pulls back into line this time round, though. Does compromise his speed through the corner, which means he won't necessarily have the run into turn 1, which is... also, out of the 2 attacking opportunities, the final corner is probably the one you want to go the most at. As Fred the flag marshal waves the white flag, this is where the temperatures are going to start to rise. Perez still holding down second comfortably there. Nagai really going to leave it late if he is going to have a run. Oh, the moves are starting to happen here. We've lost. Who do we lose? Smith. Smith's gone. And that leaves Witten on the front of this pack. Chenoweth to have a crack into Lodge if he can. And yeah, I might have a look at that after the race is finished, because Sasaki now rounds Lodge, comes up the hill over Deer Leap and takes out round 5 of Sunday Night Lights. Closely followed by Perez, who's grabbed on his return P2, a fantastic run ahead of Nagai Devantia. Kokobu hangs on against Vico. Witten now leading this action-packed group across the line, up 7 positions. Vico up 10 to be the biggest mover in the field. Fantastic drive from Vico. And Lay should be happy with up 8 positions in P9 there, Doug.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the interesting point is that so much action at the start, but still the top guys still manage to do their thing and stay out of it. I guess qualify at the front, avoid the crap behind.
Yeah, well, that's it. Let's go see what happened to Smith there at the end. He's just, after all these laps, after 20 laps, the rear's just gone. It's been so common here this week on the outside of the Cascades there, and doing the right thing there, holding the brakes, although on the grass, of course, doesn't do as much good, but the being perpendicular to the way you move, it probably helps a bit too with friction and therefore slowing down. But yeah, that's really unfortunate there for does the right thing, waits for everyone to go by. Very unfortunate there for Smith, and not the way he wanted to see things finish, I'm sure. But finish they have. Let's go check out our results here for round 5 of season 31 of Sunday Night Lights. Go to Sasaki. Not the first time we've seen him have a win. It might, if I'm not mistaken, be the first time this season though for Team NRS. Not surprisingly, one of the strong Japanese drivers taking out the win here this week. Congratulations to Sasaki-san. Christian Perez, what a welcome return it was to see the Astro Racing Team driver back on the podium. A bit hard fought than it used to be in the skips sometimes, but he worked hard and got a great result, as did Naoya Nagai. Nagai-san for Team NRS. Those of you who don't know, that's Nagai Racing School. The Japanese guys getting together to build each other up in terms of their racing. As they say, the rising tide, all boats rise with. Nagai-san finishing in 3rd, strengthening his claim on the season overall. Of course, the Japanese drivers hotly contesting both SNL and the official season championship. Sam Devanti, the cowboy for Speedy Snails, has come home in 4th in a strong performance, albeit lonely at times. Kokobu, after that early incident with Frattini, unfortunately moved down the order for Team NRS, but still managed to grab a top 5 finish in 5th. Alexis Vico, strong performance, the biggest mover in the field, up 10 positions, started 16th, finishing in 6th. Fantastic effort from Vico there tonight. Luke Witten, similarly up 7 positions here tonight. The Team Milo driver finishing in 7th. 8th position for Ryan Chenoweth. The Goose, it used to be Goose Juice Racing, the Wildlife Warrior himself, finishing up. It's at 5 positions. Strong, pretty strong performance for him in quali, and capitalised on the early incidents to move forward in the field up to 8th. Mark Lay for Team Clowns inside the top 10. P9, no doubt a happy clown there. And congratulations to him. P10 tonight went to Hiroyuki Shorter for Team NRS, the Japanese driver, rounding out the top 10. Kenji Kuroda, his teammate and compatriot, finishing in 11th, and rounding out the SNL point scoring positions in 12th after an action-packed race was Fraser Smith. P13 tonight, last week's hero for the Japanese club, Takumi Yamato. Yamato-san finishing down in 13th, ahead of the head clown himself, Mr. Vasco Sorofsky, who finishes in 14th after qualifying so well, down 8 positions, unfortunately, due to that early spin. Darren Tune, who we saw spin off on the run up through the water tower area in the mid stages of the race, a bit of a mysterious one, finishes in 15th, just ahead of Yoshito Ko, who I neglected to mention at the start of the race for some reason, but that's his debut, an unfortunate one in terms of the results, finishing down there in 16th. 17th tonight, we didn't see much on the track there tonight, was young Braden Martin for Locked On Racing, just ahead of 18th finisher Mr. Dario Frattini, who was down 14 on the night. Not a happy couple of races for Mr. Frattini. And Brett McBurney for McFlabby Racing, I didn't even see what happened to him, but he was down 20 laps. He must have gone out early, Doug.
I think he was off in the Fosters the first time round. Um, yeah, just interesting to see. I think that probably the bottom 12 all left the track at some point in the night, but just some people recovered better than others.
Yeah,
Vico
right.
in particular, he was off very early, but still an incredibly strong result.
Yeah, well, that'd do it, right? It was fairly hectic out there, I have to say. And anyway, there's a fair bit to talk about. But speaking of talking, we have a few of our drivers out this week. We were a bit short last week. We've got a few more this week. Let's start with returning champion, but he managed to get second in his return to racing here on a Sunday night. Mr. Christian Perez for Astro Racing Team. Congratulations, mate. Strong drive out there. You avoided trouble early and came away with a good result.
Hello, Alex. Hello, Doug. Yeah, it was a very quiet race. I'm not very confident with this car, so just stay um, in the ass of Naoya, in the rear of Naoya, and then try to overtake him at the end. But yeah.
Yeah, mate, it was a good drive. We're all still finding our feet in these cars. They're a different kind of racing experience to the skips, and sometimes patience, as you say, there pays off in the end. You just got to stick to your guns, stay clean, and come away with a good result. So, how can I ask how you're finding the cars so far?
I don't know, Alex. I didn't race it too much.
Yeah.
It is like a Formula V, but
Yes.
faster and with better shifting.
Yes.
I'm not very fan of the Formula V, so
Yes.
this car is a little bit strange, but I really like this track.
Yes.
I am faster because of that, but I don't really uh, I don't really have the confidence to overtake, to break a little bit late, and I didn't know if I was faster of Naoya or maybe of the draft. I don't know where it begins the draft. I don't know if 1 second, 1 second and a half. So I didn't attack him. I said, okay, P1 is gone, but let's try to get the podium.
Absolutely, and that's what you do as you're learning these things. You weigh up the odds and the best chances of success. And tonight that was successful for you. So congratulations, mate. Great to see you back here on a Sunday night. Hopefully, you find a bit more fun in the car, and we see you again at some stage soon. But in any case, mate, thank you for joining us here. Is there anyone you'd like to say hello to or thank tonight?
Today I don't know if Vitesse is seeing this, but this podium is for him and his family. Maybe he sees them a little bit later, but he's the one.
Perfect. All right. Well, great to talk to you again, Christian. Great to see you out there, and congratulations once again. Maybe we'll talk to you again soon, mate.
Okay, ciao, ciao.
There you go, Doug. That was Christian Perez. We haven't seen him out here as yet. It took 5 rounds to get him here, but I'm glad we did.
Well, he's always very polite. He's always very humble in how good he is. And, that little move at Lodge towards in the last few laps there just shows that I don't want to crash into one. I want to do the right thing. But you know what? Here I go. And showed his skill. So, yeah, very impressive to listen to and to watch.
Yeah, and then to be able to hold off one of the guns at the moment. Nagai-san, of course, quick in a lot of cars. He's put the work in here, as so many of the Japanese drivers have. And Perez relying on a bit of racecraft and smarts and speed to go with it. Held him off and grabbed a great result. But moving on, next position in the tree in terms of finishing order will be, if I can just, come on, Alex, click the buttons. There it is. Will be the cowboy himself, Mr. Sam Devantier. Sam, P4, bit of a lonely race out there. It all sort of happened at the start there, and then you're on your own.
I gotta say, he must be living a UKC here. I'm telling you, all these trucks in UK, I'm telling you. It felt lonely, but just the pace. That's all I gotta say. The pace is ridiculous. I was like, surely keep up with Christian. But no, he's just somewhere else.
Yeah, that's it, mate. He sort of bridged the gap to Nagai-san, and then he stuck in the draft, had the little move, and then came away. And then yourself there, of course, a bit in no man's land. I thought Cockaboo and maybe Vico might have a chance at catching you, but no, you put your head down, put your laps in. Consistency paid out in the day with a good result.
Yeah, dude, I was watching the game. It's like 3 points. Like, okay, it's fine. 2.9 is like, oh god, I gotta put my head down, focus. But no, they're just serious quick laps around here, honestly. And then just looking at the replay now, there's a lot of death, which is a bit of a shame. I'd rather see people finish and then crash out, It just sucks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it took away a bit from those guys' nights, obviously, and also from the racing here. The racing here historically has been amazing, and the skips and was shaping up to be amazing here. We did get pockets of it throughout the race, so we weren't all left disappointed, but certainly, hopefully, bigger and better action to come in the coming weeks, mate. Congratulations on P4. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Just you guys, obviously, every single week doing the broadcast, it means a lot. I think obviously the community and my teammates is obviously Space Sounds, and I think myself, so finally over 8K now, 8.1K now.
Yeah, nice. Good to see some of your teammates out on track during the week as well. Hopefully, you might even see them here on a Sunday night. So give them a rev up and get them out there, eh?
I'm gonna have to convince them I share the broadcast with them, so maybe they might be listening in the background soon.
Yeah, you never know. All right, mate. Congratulations on a great result. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yeah, see ya.
You got Doug, Sam Devantier, the cowboy, as he wasn't wrong, as he's talking about all the disasters going on. They're all happening on the screen in the replay. You still with me, Doug?
Well, sure, the amount of people that were just, doing great things, but it seems to me every incident involved the rear tyres. Whatever you were doing, it was the back that led you off the track,
Yeah, it can be. These things have got an interesting, the drivers have an interesting relationship with the rear of the car and these things. You want it to rotate, then at some point you want it to stop, though, so you can start going forward again. And unfortunately, sometimes it just doesn't quite work that way. Anyway, speaking of good results, we've got the other clown in the field. And we say that with all due affection. Mr. Mark Lay, who's up 8 positions on the night to finish inside the top 10 as the lead clown on the track. Welcome, Mr. Mark Lay. I hope you had fun out there.
Hey guys, yeah, had a great race. It was a lot of fun.
Mate, there was a big pack around you there too. A lot of action going on. Oh, mate, the event of the night, as I saw, was you went for the move into Lodge there. Got a bit hung out to dry, and the two guys went past you. How did that feel? I bet you were thinking disastrous at that moment.
Well, sometimes you hope they get past you because they may take themselves out, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I lost 2 positions there. That was tough. That was that when Ryan? Oh no, that was Lodge. The move that got me was when Ryan put me in the middle going into Old Hall Corner there. I haven't practiced that yet.
Not often you practice that sort of thing, right? So, no, but mate, I've got to tell you, we had a bit of time on your pack. There was a lot of racing there and hopefully a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was. It was, Ryan and Luke and Fraser there for a while. Unfortunately, he lost it in the last lap. But yeah, we had some good racing. It was fun keeping up and. I survived, so that's sometimes that gets you in 9th place on Sunday Night Lights.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Top 10 finish, up 8 spots, 34 I rating, not a bad night out.
Yeah, it was great. It was good.
Beautiful. All right, mate. Well, thanks for coming and talking to us. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Oh, look at a big shout out to Doug Robson there, who is a better spotter than Jim. I got to tell you that. So thanks for supporting me on those some of those races, Doug.
Beautiful. We've done Jim out of a job. Well played, Doug. All right, mate. Great to talk to you. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
Right on. See you, ciao.
There you go, Doug. That's a nice shout out to your good self for being the head clown spotter.
I'll take that as a compliment at any time. But yeah, Mark's a great guy to be part of the clown team. I remember way back when we used to have 5 spotters in a race and no one had any.
That's where we came to dub the Shutter of Clowns, mate. From all the
exactly.
Yeah.
But I think after a while, Vass said, "Can you people just be quiet?" That was awesome racing by everybody in that race, Alex. I think, the people that had accidents. That's unfortunate. But the quality of racing, the front 2 were gone. Then what Christian did, then that group of 4 there, they were just amazing. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking at the pictures here, just how far back Luke Whitten was in the early stages of this race. And he ended up finishing on front of that pack. You can just see Mark Lay at the sort of centre left of picture at the moment. Whitten hasn't even rounded turn 1 yet. And he ends up in finishing in front of all those blokes. That's how a race can develop and how a race can come to you over the course of its running. And just a reminder, everyone, to staying patient can sometimes be the best way to go. Anyway, we'll move on to our next clown then. We've had, this will be 2 in a row. Mr. Swarovski, who qualified so well. He was in 6th on the 3rd row. And then we were just talking about the, there it is. I just spotted it. The love-hate relationship with the rear of the car, mate.
Evening, guys. I thought I'd stick my nose in and give you a report what it feels like to be Team Williams at the moment, except for Mark. Mark did pretty good out there, so give him that. I thought, we're a bit all over the place lately in this thing, and I thought maybe we got some pace, and I don't know. I still don't know what happened. I wasn't even pushing. I was maybe half asleep, relaxing, going in there, and around she went. And then I beached it on a little tiny, I'm looking at the thing on my screen at the moment, it's a tiny little mound on top of the curb, and it beached, and that was it. But anyway, it was different, and obviously, mate, the Japanese are super fast. Sasaki was ridiculously quick. So I missed all the action up the field, and I can only tell you what it's like to get towed back to the pits this round.
Yeah, that's it, mate. It was an unfortunate one after, putting it so far up the grid and looking for a good one. And, well, we were just talking about it, the rear sometimes you want it to rotate and then it just keeps going. But unfortunate one, mate. But, look, hopefully we'll see bigger and better things in the coming weeks. But certainly good to see the clowns involved, more than one in the field, and certainly one finishing inside the top 10, and yourself looking forward to bigger and better things. But for tonight, mate, anyone like to give a shout out to?
You as always for everything, and your guest commentator in there, I have to, and all the rest of the team clowns, team that runs around and deals with my headaches, and I'm just got to stop these clown moments, mate. I think it's becoming Team Milo at the moment. I don't like this at all. So
that's it,
we'll
mate.
work on it. I'll catch you next time.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for lending us your spotter too, by the way. Anyway, all good.
Done. All good.
Right, talk soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
There you go, Doug. Your mate there, Vasco, had an unhappy night, but didn't come off too bad. Lost a little bit of I rating and the opportunity to race for some of the big guns.
That's true, but he qualified well. He did well at the early bit. Actually, looking at the video just there, I think he touched the outside on the approach, the curb on the outside on the approach to Foster's, and I think that's what turned him round.
Yeah, could have done, mate. Could have easily done.
Yeah, but getting beached, because I was wondering, what are you doing clicking out? You can't have any damage. But clearly he was beached, so there we go. A great race.
Yeah, he was beached airs, apparently. Anyway, now, final person on our list is Mr. Braden Martin, who, welcome back, mate. I don't know if you were expecting to be in the top split tonight, but possibly didn't go the way you expected either.
No, pretty frustrating. Yeah, it was car 1 last time I jumped in, so I knew I'd be in split 2, that is, so I knew I'd be somewhere around the mark, but yeah, a bit annoying.
Yeah, unfortunate, mate. What happened around you today? It was so much going on. We kind of missed probably what happened to you. Did you get caught up in someone else's mess?
No, not sort of. There's a few cars checking up ahead, and Ryan and Fraser behind didn't really check up all that much. And although they eventually would have missed me if it wasn't for netcode, they came in pretty hot and just got spun around by netcode, and then. Not only that, then the car rolled back onto the track and got net-coded again by about half a car width and broke the left rear. And then as I was driving out of the pits after a tow and past repair, crew chief was saying, you've got a meatball flag still. So I didn't actually have a meatball, but I'm guessing the car wasn't fixed up properly because it felt pretty rubbish still. So
yeah, that's really unfortunate that you faced that one as well. Not typical and fairly unusual to see that. But anyway, mate, look, great to see you out here. But hopefully, maybe even a bit more regularly on a Sunday night, whether it be with us in the top split. Of course, those playing at home, we do score the first 4 splits, and we might even have to score 4 splits tonight with the turnout, which is a great thing because, of course, as we always say, this is for the community, by the community, and that's how we like it. And we do like seeing you here on a Sunday night, Braden, but hopefully with better results in the future. But anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight, mate, before we let you go?
No, just shout out to the Locked On lads and Banner Alliance Racing and you guys for putting on the broadcast. It was nice to be back and shame that things didn't go better because I feel like I had an alright pace considering I'd only done one race here. So yeah.
Yeah, perfect. All right, mate. Well, hopefully things go better for you in the future, and talk to you again soon.
Cheers. See you guys.
Yeah, Doug, locked on iRacing's Braden Martin. Not the race he was looking for, that's for sure.
No, that's right. But, for all of us who know Braden to some degree, I grew up listening to the Locked On Lads podcast. So it's great to see him back. He's fast. He'll just get better and go better. So let's see him. I look forward to seeing him soon.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Hopefully it all goes well going forward. But that might just about do us here tonight, folks. Famous victory for Hikoto Sasaki. Great to see the Japanese driver performing so well. Congratulations to him, to Perez, and to Senpai Nagai Senpai, who chucked it on P3 on the podium, strengthening his claims, of course, for the overall championship. But Doug, thanks for joining us, mate. And anything going on this week that you want to let the folks at home know about?
I'll be doing a bit more iRacing, that's for sure. I've been quite keen. I found a fault in my rig yesterday, so I'm quite keen to get back onto that. So, no, pretty exciting times. So, look forward to seeing you racing as well, Alex.
He's OP. Anyway, folks, that might just about do us. As I said, check us out on the Top Split YouTube channel with this and all the other race replays from the 31 seasons of Sunday Night Lights. We will be back here next week on Top Split TV at the same time. 9:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, GMT plus, I want to say 10 at the moment after daylight savings. A bit more convenient for everyone to get that out of the way. And of course, the Discord community is where you'll find everything SNL, the news, the views, and all the scores and all those sorts of things as well. But folks, for now, thank you very much for joining us both on track and off. Your support is very much appreciated. Please hit like, thumbs up, subscribe, and all those things at those different places, and help us get the great word of the Sunday Night Lights racing out there. This grassroots event is such a fantastic place to race each and every week, and certainly we have a lot of fun bringing it to you. But for now, folks, and on behalf of Doug Robson, I'm Alex McKellar, and I will say ciao for now.